Hi guys, and welcome back to Mchikky series. In today's video, I'll be talking about the case of a 13-year-old Elizabeth Ochanya that was allegedly molested and sodomized by a man and his son for more than 3 years, and as a result of damages caused to her internal organ, she battled vesicovaginal fistula (VVF), consequently incontinence and other health complications at Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi, before giving up to the ghost on 17th October 2018 at General Hospital Otukpo, all in Benue State. The alleged pervert happened to be her aunt's friendly husband in the name of Andrew Obuja, a 51-year-old Catholic Knight of Mulumba of 3rd degree, who is the head of Department of Catering and Hotel Management at Benue State Polytechnic, Ubokolo, together with his alleged rapist son, Victor Obuja, a 22-year-old, a student of animal production at Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State. It all started when Ochanya, as she was fondly called, secured admission with Federal Government College Boko in Benue State. She believed that staying with her aunt could help her realize her educational dreams since her mother is late and her father since remarried. But hardly did she know she was walking into a predator's den. Ochanya was brought by her aunt to live with her in Ubokolo at age 8, and not quite long, her son Victor raped her. His sister, who happened to be on the scene, reported the incident to the rest of the family. Their father reprimanded his son, but hardly did they know that he went behind closed doors to rape the little girl. Due to her deteriorating health condition, she would frequently take ill, got bedridden for 2 months, and couldn't resume school. On seeing her deplorable health condition, a caregiver who runs an orphanage in Otukpo took her to Benue State University Teaching Hospital in June 2018. This was where it was discovered that she has been abused sexually through both her anus and vagina, which on long term has caused uncontrollable defecation and passing of urine. After further interrogation, she revealed how long the assault has been going on and how she was threatened with death if she tells anyone. She also explained that sometimes she was drugged, which made her not very conscious of what happened. The case has since been reported to police headquarters in Makurdi. The man arrested and case charged to court. At the court, he was remanded pending the next adjournment in September, which was further adjourned till the 4th of November 2018. But the accused jumped bail, even when he was not granted bail. He was also released from the prison without the consent of the victim's family, with his son still at large.
51-year-old Andrew Obuja, a lecturer at the Department of Catering and Hotel Management, Benue State Polytechnic, Ubokolo, was arraigned Monday at the Makurdi Upper Area Court 1 for criminal conspiracy and rape of 13-year-old Elizabeth Ogbanje, who was his ward between 2013 to 2015. The 13-year-old victim narrates her unfortunate ordeal, which initially began with the lecturer's son, Victor, now a student at the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, who was at large and failed to appear in court.
Started 2013. When I was 5 years old, I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started.
Sometime in June, this case was reported to me. She was very sick, and when we began to make our findings, we discovered that she was actually raped by one Victor, who is a son to the guardian where she was staying.
Now, so many questions on my mind. Where is our judicial system? What of our collective responsibilities? Where was Ochanya's aunt when all these sexual molestation and assaults were happening in her own home? Right under her nose. Is it that she wants to keep her marriage? Therefore, she will not speak against her husband and son's atrocity? Where is our moral conscience? As a result of this, lots of protests have been launched across the country to demand justice for Ochanya and also stand up for other children who are sexually abused every day. There are millions of Ochanya amongst us. Say no to child abuse. Say no to sexual abuse.
There are people right now in our neighborhoods, probably in our houses, going through the same thing. And people are silent because they want to protect marriages. They keep quiet. What marriage are you protecting when you have a predator you are living with one? Some people are angry that her stepmother could have stood for her. You know what? There are mothers who are watching their freaking husbands molest their own children, and they stay in the relationship and they say they want to marry. That is not marriage. That is marriage, where we cannot protect our young ones, we are not fit to be called parents. I stand here. As I'm standing here, you could have been me. Yes. And I won't be alive today for anyone to call me to stand here.
In Nigeria, numerous legislation criminalize rape as a felony with life imprisonment. However, Benue State is yet to adopt the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, Child Rights Act 2003, and Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, which provide more expansive protection for the victims of sexual abuse and defilement. I hope Ochanya gets justice, even at death, because this will be a new dawn in fight against rape and sexual abuse in Nigeria. Let us hold our government responsible and accountable. Let's make sure that some of these laws are ratified in the state so that we'll be able to hold them accountable when something like this happens. As a nation, we must stand up and condemn this abominable act. Citizens must speak up against this heinous crime and should not allow silence to continue. We live in a hypersexual society that exposes sexual imagery but does not talk about it. This culture of silence and shame around sex and sexuality creates a breeding ground for child sexual abuse. Silence is sexual abuser's friend. There is need for comprehensive sex education to be provided both by the parents and the school. Rapists are predators, therefore protect yourself psychologically and physically. Make your world a little safer from these predators. There are lots of atrocities going on in the world today. Some fathers are abusing their daughters and some siblings are defiling one another. As a parent, speak against it. And as a wife, if your husband is a pedophile, I don't know what you're doing in that kind of marriage. Teach your child or ward to recognize inappropriate touching, such as secret touch, which is not a good touch, but the predator will always ask your child to keep it a secret. Encourage your children to report to you immediately when such a thing happens. Let your child or ward also know the difference between good touch and bad touch, like pat on the back and high five. There are also bad touch, which are not welcome, like hit or kicks. A 3-year-old was able to expose her uncle who attempted abusing her because the mother will always ask the children as soon as they come back to the house, did anybody touch your wee-wee? And on this occasion, when the question was asked, the child responded, yes, and when she was asked who, she said, my uncle. Be careful of who you let into your house. Most predators are the people that are familiar with the children and the family. Never dismiss any child's claim because the adult is a valued member of the society. Trust your child first before any adult. 30% of children who has been sexually abused were abused by a family member, and 60% were abused by an adult they knew who is not a family member. That means only 10% of children who are sexually abused were targeted by a total stranger. Parents should encourage their children and wards to speak up when they are facing any kind of abuse by creating an enabling environment for dialogue. Let your child or ward know that he or she can tell you anything and that you are always willing to talk. Take time to talk to your child or ward every day and work towards building an open and trusting relationship. Whenever you have cases of rape or abuse, please speak up. You can call any of these numbers on your screen. And also remember to report to the Office of the Public Defender nearest to you. Share this video as a part of sensitization to fight against child sexual abuse and rape. Remember to subscribe to this channel for more content.
Justice for Ochanya! Justice for Ochanya! Justice for Ochanya! Justice for Ochanya!